somebody who is making some sort of travel plans. Now, of course, this could be your energy going to visit someone. This could also be someone who is planning a trip to see you. And I don't know that you necessarily know about it. But there is, with this feminine energy coming through, a desire to discuss emotions. So we could have someone who just needs to apologize, or someone who knows that it's time to bury the hatchet, tell you what really happened. Whether this is romantic or platonic, take it how it resonates, but let's call it in spirit with a little bit of Winchenta. And I hope you're having a good day so far. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedonestarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box, as is more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. Hello, Antonio. Hello, Nat. How we doing? Let's start with this the Poe Tarot, and see what this motivation is behind this travel. What do we have with this trip? The King of Quills, the Knight of Paws, that would be King of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, and then we also have the Four of Quills, or Four of Swords. Well, okay. And think that these weak lines are written by him who, as he pens them, thrills to think his spirit is communing with an angel's. And the Knight of Pentacles says, this bug is to make my fortune. Really? Is that what it says? Bug? Okay. This bug is to make my fortune, he continued with a triumphant smile, to reinstate me in my family possessions. Is it any wonder, then, that I prize it? So this is something to do with family. Someone who feels like there's been a detail that's been missed, or someone who is trying to obscure something. So this could be about a will, especially because we have the Four of Quills, the Four of Swords, which says in pace resquiat, which is rest in peace. So this is about someone who has passed away, and probably about what their wishes are or were regarding that situation. My condolences if this reading does resonate, but there could be some battle over property or money, assets of some sort. There could also be some misunderstanding that was kind of ignored or pushed to the side because someone was maybe just not really wanting to deal with family issues. Hello, Jordan. How are you doing? Good morning, Matt. Hello, Great One. How we doing? What else do we have? Queen of Wands, Page of Cups, Knight of Wands in the reverse. So this is a trip that was not necessarily expected. Or even, something that you have to buy, like a last minute plane ticket, that kind of thing. And the Page of Cups, I feel, is paying respects. So this Queen of Wands energy is likely the person who is traveling and feeling like, I've maybe got to go back to the hometown, or I've got to travel and see some folks I haven't seen in a while. There's some money that has to be spent in order to get to a place that I think this person has maybe even tried to avoid. Justice and the Devil. Well, I'm hearing Death Cab for Cutie, is it? No. I'm second guessing myself. Styrofoam Plates is the song. I don't know if I have the artist right. I don't think it is Death Cab for Cutie. Is it? Basically, this is saying we don't have to just sit here and say nice things because someone has passed away. The truth is that there were some disappointments here in terms of how this person treated their family. Hello, Milk. How you doing? Oh, thank you for rejoining, Zaz. I appreciate it. Hello, Baker. Welcome back. How are we doing today? We've got the Empress in the reverse, the Hierophant in the reverse, Two of Swords in the reverse. Yeah, this is a complex relationship, a family tie, someone, you know, in your life that had rules for this Queen of Wands, but didn't necessarily follow those rules. So I think this is a person who was a little bit unyielding or even seen as stubborn, set in their ways. And even though things may have been a little bit tense or combative between the Queen of Wands and the Hierophant in the reverse, I don't know if I want to call them that. Maybe I'll call them the King of Swords. I feel like the King of Swords is the person who has passed away. There's something about the Queen of Wands doing life and making choices the way they wanted to. Maybe went against what the King of Swords was expecting or wanting. So this could be like a parent or grandparent. Fool in the reverse, Five of Swords, Wheel of Fortune. There was a decision here that was made to be less than supportive or even to remove support from this Queen of Wands because of the choices. So, you know, you choose to get a divorce, so I'm going to remove you from the will. Or you choose to move across the country, so I'm not going to pursue a relationship with you anymore. There's this like resentment that led to, I'm not going to do right by this connection because you let me down. And I also think there's someone who likes to blame others when there is, in fact, a different way to approach the situation. So we could have some, obviously, stubborn resistance, you know? I know I owe you an apology, but I'm not willing to do it. That kind of thing. Oh, thank you for the tip, Baker. What can you tell me about who I marry? When? Personality? We meet, and if I know them already. All right, I've added that for you. And thank you again. Ooh, let's see. Yeah, this is the Love Oracle. We're going to look into some of the emotions on both sides because we have this King of Swords, remember, does not need to be a man, and the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands in the reverse, I will clarify. There's this resentment between these two, and I feel like there's been a passing. There was some closeness between these two during someone's childhood. Again, this could be like a cousin, a sibling, an uncle, but I do feel like it's family. I felt close to you. I felt like I could tell you what was going on. And then when you realized that I was doing something you didn't really approve of, then all of a sudden you decided to like avoid me or not invest in that connection or that relationship. Haley, thank you for the tip. Where do you think that Sage will be staying when X resumes his parenting time? Where will she stay? And he won't tell you anything, huh? He might not know, be my guess, but we will take a look at that, Lee. Hello, I am. How are you doing? All right, what else do we have on this King of Swords? Shallow, hollow, empty, boredom. This is somebody who was disgruntled and frustrated. Maybe didn't have enough to do. But I definitely get this King of Swords had stopped talking to this Queen of Wands. I do feel like it was a show of disapproval. I can't believe you're in that relationship. I can't believe you moved away. I can't believe you chose that career. I can't believe you didn't stay in the same state. Whatever it is, it's like, well, I have to choose to live my own life, and it's not always going to align with what you envision for somebody else. I think the Queen of Wands in the reverse has some frustration because there wasn't really enough time to heal some of these issues that they'd had. Loyalty, trusting, reliability, believing, and clarity, truth, intentions, honesty. So there was a desire to have a return to how things were between these two before an independence streak started up, before there was clearly some differences in how people wanted things to go. Let's get a little bit more about the Queen of Wands in the reverse. What's up with the Queen of Wands? Yeah, it would me too. Did I say hello to Holy Ghost? Hello? Roller coaster, highest high, adrenaline rush, and children, young, childhood, playful. There were a lot of twists and turns and unexpected changes, or even just a straight up lack of stability during the Queen of Wands in the reverse childhood as a result of this King of Swords. Making choices that didn't seem to make sense, or having rules that were a little bit unfair, starting arguments or cutting off contacts with folks that didn't really deserve that treatment. So I do feel that the Queen of Wands in the reverse looks at the King of Swords as a drama queen. What else? Yeah. This Queen of Wands in the reverse is wondering, like, am I still, like, cut out of the will, basically? I'm starting to wonder if we have a little bit of a skewed perspective here, because I am drawing pretty heavily on how the Queen of Wands in the reverse views the King of Swords. And it could be that we have a desire to make something be everyone, like that person is the only person that caused problems, not wanting to acknowledge, you know, maybe you made that relationship or that conflict a little bit more difficult than it needed to be. So this Queen of Wands could be very convinced, this King of Swords did me wrong. They should have done things differently, without necessarily looking at what they could have done. With this lockdown or mental prison, I do feel like they're replaying conversations over in their mind. But there also might be some frustration here because of what happens after this person has passed away. I'm a little worried this is turning into, I can't believe that you, like, didn't leave me anything. Yeah, I do think that an argument that was left unresolved has upset this Queen of Wands in part, maybe in large part, because now they're not getting anything from this person when they pass away. That's a little concerning. All right. This is the Marseille Cat Tarot. What else? Four of Swords in the reverse. Eight of Cups in the reverse, and the Queen of Wands. This feels to me like competition. Like we had some, you know how sometimes the parent and child overlap in personality or characteristics can become problematic. Like, oh, I love that you're my mini me, but you also like dish back all of the BS that I produce, you know? There's something here about this Queen of Wands feeling like a Queen of Wands in the reverse when they're around the family. It's like, I'm not allowed to be who I really am, or I'm not allowed to like be more attractive than this person or smarter than that person, or I can't talk because this person's gonna. It's like when I'm away from the family, I feel like I'm myself and I have this clarity. I know where I'm headed. I know what I want. When I go back, maybe it's because the family members make you feel like you are, you know, still 16 years old, right? Don't know what you're doing. But the reality is, there's a person who left the family and made the right decision to start a different chapter because they acknowledged that they were not really going to be supported, or this family wouldn't really allow them to be who they were supposed to be. It's like, no, we don't believe that you're going to be a famous dancer. No, we don't believe that you could be a successful, you know, professional violinist. And then this person goes and does exactly that. And it's like going back to see this group of people can be a little bit frustrating because it's like there's still these negative perceptions that others like to maintain about this person as they used to be. Hello, Kim. Thank you for the tip. I hope you're having a good day. Does Andrew want more than friendship? Awesome. I have added that for you, Kim. Kim, I can't remember. I think I've seen you here before, but just in case, I do personal questions after the general reading is done, which will be in about 15 minutes. Usually it's about 30 or 35 minutes into the reading. Oh, it's too bad you have such a cool username, but it seems like you have no chill. I hope you have a wonderful new year anyways. Hello, Robert. How are you doing? So it's starting to feel to me like the reason we have this Queen of Wands in the reverse at the start is there is this perception that a family has of someone who took a different path or an unconventional path, that they rejected the family expectations, or they chose something that was unusual or everyone assumed wasn't going to work out, but it did actually pay off for this person. I mean, this is like, I was willing to be bold and do something that people told me I was probably going to fail at, or they didn't want to support me, right? They wanted it to be something predictable. But because they didn't believe in me or support that, because they were encouraging the fearful energy, we have somebody that decided, I'm going to go off and try it. And if you all don't like it, that's all right. They may be seen as self-absorbed or unlike everybody else, a bit of a black sheep. We have the Star and the Hermit, but it does seem like there's been family members that have been unfair or kind of judged this person harshly just because they live their life different. It's like, you know, you have 4 generations of people who were farmers, and then you have someone who decides, oh, you know what, I think I want to do something a little bit different with my life, and then that family feels like rejected in some way, like my life isn't good enough for you, you don't want to have this kind of situation. It's amazing. But being away from the family and finding their own voice or their own path has been very empowering for this person. That's why they've come through as the Emperor. So we have someone who's gone through a pretty significant change and then having to go back to basically being surrounded by the people who were refusing to believe that they could actually do that change or go through that transformation. And it might feel a little bit like putting on a wet swimsuit. Like, I don't want to do this, but I guess I have to. Hello, Commander. I hope not. I do personal questions after the general reading with priority to those who tip or donate. Hello, April. Hello, Sonia. Hello, Chris. I think you can do that through YouTube. Hello, Super. How are you doing? So, justice is coming through again. The 7 of Wands and the 2 of Pentacles in the reverse. The thing is, the fact that our Emperor, Queen of Wands in the reverse has been able to achieve what people did not believe they would be able to, it disrupts their worldview. It makes them question, well, if you were able to do that, then did I give up too soon on my dreams? Did I choose something too easy when I should have challenged myself? You make people uncomfortable because you are comfortable being yourself. And so many people struggle with that, especially it seems like in this family situation. With the 7 of Wands, this is like things happen in divine timing. But it's also coming through as you've got proof that what you said would happen did happen. You know, it's like, oh, well, yeah, I did become that famous author or whatever it is, you know? It looks like I did make the right choice. None of you wanted to believe that it was, but now, like, you can see that it was. Hello, B, how are you doing? Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, 6 of Cups in the reverse, and 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, there's some jealousy or some frustrations here from family members that see one person from their family having achieved their goals and become quite successful, and also not sacrificed their own dreams for the sake of people within their family judging them. And there is frustration, right? Like, I did what I was supposed to, or I followed like the script that was handed down. I worked for the family business, and you know, maybe they don't get a lot of time for themselves, but the unwillingness to go out and try something different has left a couple of folks in this person's family frustrated because now they're feeling like they didn't try hard enough. Now they're feeling like they need to take a look at their own decisions while they were so busy judging you for yours. Hello, Celeste. How are you doing? Hello, Grindhard. What's up? We have the Moon and the Hierophant. So we have this person who has passed away, and it's the person who seems to have been most committed to or most likely to talk about those expectations, or here's what you should be doing, here's what I don't like. And it's got some folks wondering, like, did I make the wrong choices in my life because I was too focused on what other people thought or what other people expected? But I also feel like there's a lot of questions over what's going to happen with this person's last will and estate. Ace of Pentacles. Do I get some money from this? Ace of Cups. Because I feel like I put forth the effort that I should have. There's a little bit of entitlement here, so I don't know how well off this person is. Maybe it's about a piece of property or even, you know, like a vehicle. But we have, I think, a couple of people who are like, all right, I need to know, like, what am I getting from this? It's a little concerning. What else? Seven of Cups in the reverse. King of Wands. Five of Swords. Is there someone trying to mess with this? So there was an assumption that this Queen of Wands in the reverse, who's turned into the Emperor, there was an assumption that this person would get nothing. That the relationship between the King of Swords and the now Emperor had deteriorated so much that there was unlikely to be any kind of mention or significant thing left to this Emperor. That's how I feel other people are looking at it. Siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, whatever it might be, other folks that could potentially be listed on this will, they're assuming that the Emperor will get nothing. But I think the King of Swords is surprising people by leaving this Emperor in the will. I know we weren't on great terms. I know that, you know, we had a pretty big falling out, or, you know, I hadn't seen you in years, but you're still invited to the party. You're still on the list. And I think these other folks are mad about it. It's like, oh, well, I thought I was going to get that. Oh, thank you. Happy New Year to you. Suddenly Last, if you would like me to pull a few cards for you, you let me know. I've got your name written down. And did I miss a few folks? Hello. Should I call you How? How Boy? I don't know how to say your name, sorry. Hello, J Mark, how are you doing? Hello, Reese, how's your day? I think we need the Kipper, and then it might be time for personal readings at that point. Hello, Set, how are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry we went through that. It can be a pretty stressful time. What else do we have? Sudden Wealth. Message of concern. I think this Emperor is shocked to see that even though they had not had the best relationship here with the King of Swords, whatever family member that might be, that they are still included in the will, and they're getting something that other people were expecting to hear would be going to them. There's still affection that this King of Swords held on to for this Emperor. Hey, Grindtire, thank you for the tip. Let's see what we got. Why do I feel kissy energy from Micah between and now? Is she talking about me again? Awesome. I think there was a second one there too. Let me add that. If I keep fighting for her, will we be together? All right, I've got that. Thank you, Grindhard. Let's see. Oh, we do have this. We've got Toil and Labor, number 38. I think our Emperor has been working and trying to be smart with their finances, anticipating that they would have been excluded from this inheritance. They heard about the bad health of this King of Swords. And I think they were also aware that there could have been someone who was trying to get more of the inheritance. It's like they were dating this King of Swords or had recently married the King of Swords, maybe moved in, but there's this entitlement from someone outside of the family. Because I dated this person or because I married them, this should be mine. Or feeling like because I was so close to them towards the end, surely I was like their favorite and I get more. But when this emperor comes back to town, I think they find out that they're actually meant to inherit something that another person was plotting to use for their own enrichment. And this would be the emperor. Again, it doesn't matter what the gender is, but this is like, no, 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 I'm the person who's listed on this, you know, deed or whatever it might be. Yeah, I think this is a family relation. I think we have the King of Swords having been in some sort of relationship or maybe even being closer to other children or other family members. There's this, I put in, you know, work to try to make sure that I was like your favorite so that I could get all of the things that I could from you when you passed away, not thinking that you would still want to leave something for this emperor, this Queen of Wands in the reverse, probably a child. And yet they did. So we could have someone contesting the will. I hope yours was as well, August. How are you doing? Ella Mart, how are you doing? Ooh, I certainly hope so. Hello, Gnostic. Ooh. So we have squabbles over fortune. I want to make sure I get as much as I can now that this person has passed away, which is coming through as a little bit greedy. And the Emperor, on the other hand, seems to just be kind of like surprised they're invited at all. Like, I didn't think there would be any mention of me. I didn't think this King of Swords would still be considering me, but they were. All right, let's dive in on those personal questions. We've got the Weird Cat Tarot. And we've got Baker and then Lee, followed by Kim and then Grindhard. Although before Grindhard, I wrote down Suddenly Last. If you want me to pull a few cards, let me know. Otherwise, I appreciate the generosity. Ooh, let me add that one. How strong are her feelings? Excuse me. 1 through 10. I got you, Grindhard. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so Baker, looking to know more about the person that you would marry. What does Baker need to know about the person that Baker will marry? Knight of Wands, 5 of Cups, 9 of Pentacles in the reverse, 3 of Wands in the reverse. So it looks, Baker, like this is somebody who is a little nervous or scared of long-term commitment. This could be someone who has been trying to unlearn sabotaging behavior where it concerns romantic interests. I feel like this is going to be somebody who kind of like tries to hide or move away from the connection, and then a period of separation kind of slaps them across the face and they're like, oh my gosh, actually what I need to do is be with this person. So I do feel like this is someone who comes back around and asks for exclusivity or moving in together in a way that is kind of shocking or unexpected to you, because it felt to you like they were maybe kind of like Homer Simpsoning into the shrub behind them, but then they kind of like snap out of it. Hold on, let me write down these other questions. Thank you, Nat. DV intentions. If we reconnect as friends. Hello, Priyanka. How are you doing? Etash, current feelings. Next action. Awesome. I've added that for you. Thank you. So Baker, let's see what else we can figure out about this person that you will marry. What is the timeline for this? Devil, Three of Swords, Temperance. Six of Wands, Death. The timeline is somewhat dependent upon your being able to let go of a person that you've been thinking about, a person that may have disappointed or like broken your heart. You find a way to accept or release this, to forgive this person, and that draws in a more, it basically draws in more like romantic attention. It's almost as if right now, because you still have this like thing in the past to deal with, there's this like X over your head, and people who have that healed energy, who want to do right by you, they don't like necessarily see you as an option. When you address this thing from the past, release, forgive, have some sense of closure, then it's like people see you're actually a really good option, a really good romantic interest, someone that they could see themselves with. So it changes your aura, it changes your attitude when you finally let go of this thing from the past. And that transformation is what draws in that soulmate energy. Yeah, because you then become the Queen of Cups. And that draws attention and gets, I think, more than one person to confess that they have an interest in you. And what about personality? Eight of Wands. I sense someone funny, someone who might have a little bit of a sarcastic sense of humor. I do feel like this is somebody who has some pretty closely held spiritual beliefs and is looked up to by others. Why Strength in the reverse? But this is someone who's still working on their emotional health, being able to process their own emotions. So it could be that it's a good thing that there's a little bit of separation or a little bit of time yet before the two of you are interacting, because there's some healing that it looks like both of you are wrapping up right now. Does Baker already know this person? You do already know this person. I don't think you know them very well. This is someone who you would have had a very brief introduction to, or, you know, maybe you worked with briefly. But this is someone who has had to, for one reason or another, keep their affection for you quiet. So how do things, I'm kind of altering your question because you asked, like, do you know them already? So then when and where you meet isn't really a thing because you already know them. How will Baker know that this is someone that they should pursue? Eight of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, the Lovers in the reverse. This is going to be somebody who's willing to do something very kind. I would compare this to like, oh, you're moving, I can help you. You know, just like buy a pizza or something. There's something this person does, and it could be related to house situation or, you know, fixing something. I feel like it's domesticated in some nature. This person goes out of their way to do something kind for you. That's when you'll know. And it does feel like they have like long-term intentions, right? And I hope you have a good rest of your day. We've got Lee up next. Where will Sage stay when the ex resumes the responsibilities? We have Temperance, Page of Wands, Strength, Hanged Man, Two of Cups. I feel like this is Chris trying to find a romantic interest that would be willing to let him claim that as his residence. Is this like literally like replacing Melissa? Yeah, I think he's dating someone new. And it may be specifically because I want to be able to have a residence. He's been working overtime to get some sort of romantic coupling going on. I feel like even before things were ended with Melissa, is it? Yeah. He's been hiding the other options that he has like cultivated so that he would have a place that he could crash. And I think he's gonna call out that place. Doesn't seem like a good idea. Will it be safe for Sage? No, it will not be. This is not somebody he trusts. This is just somebody he's able to use, right? I think you just need to demand within the courtroom situation that there be specificity on this. I think it's fair for you to know where she's going, right? Oh, you're so welcome, Baker. Hello, Monique. How are you doing? Hey, bestie Tiana, what's happening? Hello, Lotus. How are you? All right, Lee, I am wishing you luck because, yeah, you should not have to be worrying about that. All right, let's see what we have for Kim. Does Andrew want more than friendship? Does Andrew want more than friendship? Not at this time. We've got the Three of Coins in the reverse, the Three of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Page of Swords. Nine of Cups in the reverse. Is there still something unresolved for Andrew? I do feel like Andrew is still thinking about an ex or someone who has done him wrong. So is there interest at some point with Kim? I don't know. This is someone who seems to be emotionally blocked or feeling like they don't have control over what they want or who they want. So this seems like no, and rejection is protection, because this would be someone who's caught looking in the past, not really thinking about the future. Hello, hon. I hope it's because there are better days ahead for you. That would be my wish. All right, let's see. Let's see what we've got for... Did we ever hear from Suddenly Last? I'll come back, but Suddenly Last, if you want to post a comment and let me know if you'd like me to pull a few cards, I certainly will. Grindhards is funny because I think I used the Wait Smith for you last time. All right, so for Grindhard, why did Grindhard feel kissy energy from Wifey Micah between 10:40 a.m. and now? Okay. I'm not sure if it's kissy energy so much as like I feel some frustration. Like I want to let off steam, you know? So there could be something where it's like I'm kind of doing escapism, right? This is frustrating, so I'm going to think about this, right? Is she talking about Reinhardt again? Not at the moment, or not recently. I think this is about the friendship situation. I think there's still some contemplation happening over someone that she feels she needs to no longer be friends with. Yeah, Queen of Wands in the reverse. So this is what's on the mind right now. Is she thinking about grind hard? She's thinking about how a friend has tried to sabotage things with you. But more so thinking about this Queen of Wands in the reverse. If Grindheart keeps fighting for her, will they be together? Yes, but it requires change on her part. There's something here that she needs to address. How strong are Micah's feelings for Grindhard, 1 through 10? I feel like it moves between, well, it looks like about a 7. This is also someone who is like kind of quick to put people out on the curb. I feel like she's looking for reasons to like minimize the feelings here. She's trying to like delay the real serious feelings, right? I think it's just fear, a little bit of, you know, concern, perhaps. Did we hear from Sunnily last? I don't think so. Okay. Let's move on to Nat. We've got, what are DV's intentions? If we reconnect as friends. For Nat, what are DV's intentions if we reconnect as friends? Princess of Swords, which is the Page of Swords. Ace of Cups in the reverse. Hanged Man, the Fool, and the Princess of Pentacles in the reverse. The intentions are not great with the Ace of Cups in the reverse. This is like wanting to return frustrations, wanting to delay someone. This is saying invest in new friendships. I don't think there's a need for you to invest further with this person. They're either going to shortchange you or intentionally try to cause some drama in your life, and I don't think you need that. Great Heart. Is friend number I got that she's talking about? I've added that. Thank you, Grindheart. So for Priyanka, good luck with that not, by the way. For Priyanka, we'll go with the Morgan Greer. What are Hitesh's current feelings for Priyanka? What are Hitesh's current feelings for Priyanka? 4 of Swords in the reverse, Sun in the reverse, Lovers in the reverse. My. This is somebody who's frustrated or irritated. Either feeling like you don't know what you're talking about, or you've, you know, made me feel like not good enough. But with the Lovers in the reverse, there's distance here. Why? 4 of Cups in the reverse, 4 of Wands in the reverse, Page of Cups in the reverse. This is somebody who feels like you're not serious about looking for a long-term relationship. Maybe they feel like you're still talking to other people. Maybe they feel like you wouldn't accept what they have to offer. But I do feel like there's some disappointment or heartbreak here, because it's like, well, I don't think you're serious. I don't think you really want something long-term. They feel like they would be too nervous about whether or not there's trust in your connection. I don't know why they think that. What about next actions? 10 of Cups. Ace of Cups in the reverse. Eight of Cups, and the Two of Swords. This is someone who's saying, if I don't know whether or not you can fall in love, or if I could trust you, or if it feels like it's, you know, you confused me, then I'll just choose to walk away. So I think this is someone who's not really convinced that you're interested or like focused on them, and therefore they feel like they need to like migrate or move away, talk to someone new. So they're looking for some sort of confirmation that you're actually interested. All right, and then for grind hard. Oh, yeah, there's definitely a possibility of that. Is it the friend who Grindard has the number for that is this Queen of Wands in reverse? Yes, absolutely. I think there's a possible end of the friendship here. Yeah, there's too many things that have gone wrong between the two of them. Yeah, that is jealous of Micah. Yeah. And this is someone who should be loyal. I don't know that there's been adequate justification for how she has approached the friendship with Micah. You know, sometimes it's back and forth, Patty. I'm not necessarily getting that. And someone that she's known for a long time. Does Abraham miss hanging out with Celeste? Yes, but keeps that secret, doesn't want to admit that it's been a source of pain or loss. I'm just going to pretend like everything's fine. So probably someone who's a little bit concerned with regards to like being seen as the one who got their heart broken. Hello, Sunny. How are you doing? And you're welcome, Kim. Monique is asking if my kids will come back to me. Will Monique's kids come back to Monique? I'm sorry you're in separation, Monique. Yes. Aw, and we have the kids card too with the Six of Cups. I do feel like your kids miss you. I do feel like there is a delay or an obstacle right now, but that they will come back to you. What's the time frame? We have the Nine of Cups in the reverse, Tower, and the Ace of Swords. Is this like within 9 weeks? Nine of Swords. Within 9 weeks, not as fast as it should be. Because there's something here that causes, yeah, someone who's trying to make things especially difficult, maybe even lying, but they end up not getting their way, whoever it is that is opposing you on this. So I hope you do not have long to wait on that. And I'm sorry you're going through that. Hello, Apurva. How are you doing? Happy New Year. Hello, Karish. How are you doing? All right, y'all. I'm going to leave it there since we're almost to 60 minutes. I hope you all appreciate or have a great rest of your day. Sorry. Thank you. I was trying to say I appreciate any likes or subscribes. Thank you for hyping if you're able to. And I will see you in the next reading. We're rooting for you, Grindhard.